The McCullough Punch, my good friend Ann Coulter and I are at odds right now. I'm disappointed, actually. Ann Coulter is a brilliant columnist, commentator on the world today, someone who has defended the conservative worldview as good, if not stronger, than anyone in the last 10 years. She has said things in the past that have really caused controversy, and I've always defended her. When her book Godless came out, she spoke about the Jersey Girls. And what set those four girls apart was not the fact that they had gone through 9/11 and suffered, but the fact that they sought to exploit that platform to give them higher visibility in the American media landscape. That criticism was well deserved, and I defended her on it. Another time when I thought Ann Coulter showed just sheer brilliance was in her discussion following 9/11. It was a column that got her ripped out of several newspapers. A couple of magazines dropped her, and she took a lot of heat for it. But I thought her statement that said, following 9/11, that we should invade their countries, kill their leaders, and convert them all to Christianity was Ann Coulter at her very best. It was a statement that showed not just her belief in God, but that in the true superiority of pursuing truth and why it would make a difference in this world. She's gone astray the last couple of years at the nation's largest gathering of conservatives called CPAC, when she referred to Muslims as ragheads last year, and this year when she made this statement about John Edwards.
Oh, and I was going to have a few comments on the other Democratic presidential candidate, John Edwards, but it turns out that you have to go into rehab if you use the word faggot. So I'm kind of at an impasse, can't really talk about Edwards, so I think I'll just conclude here and take your questions. Thank you.
True conservatives need to recognize that now is not the time to kick Ann out of the conservative camp by any means. But at the same time, we cannot embrace such libelous use, such slanderous use of such reckless language in the pursuit of our cause, for a couple of reasons. The conservative cause is much bigger than any single personality, and to use the CPAC platform to advance an agenda that only brings stardom to herself while painting a target on the rest of us in the movement is not one that's appreciated, particularly when we are in the trenches trying to fight the fight. Whose neighbor is going to be any more convinced of the rightness of the conservative approach when Coulter has used this particular instance to bring nothing but shame to the conservative cause? Ann needs to be very careful also to not think of herself too highly. She's not the most important woman to the conservative cause. Women like Condoleezza Rice, Peggy Noonan, Phyllis Schlafly, and her good friend Barbara Olson have paid in some ways more deeply than she will ever pay for their cost to stand up and to be counted for the cause of conservatism. But beyond that, there are other mouthpieces in today's movement that are equally bold and equally tough when they fight the conservative cause, but don't bring shame upon themselves as women for not being a true lady. People like Laura Ingraham and Michelle Malkin. Long story short, Ann's comments are ones that are going to cause the entire conservative movement to pay a steep price for. It's unfortunate, it's unfair, and it needs to be rebuked by all truly concerned conservative voices. If Ann were to apologize, if she were to curb her ways from saying things that did not advance the cause, then we'd welcome her back with open arms. And I think that I speak for the conservative movement as a whole when I say that. Kevin McCullough, WMCA 570. Join me next time for the Musclehead Revolution.